Are you good? I could smell something, Juniper asked, leaning in with a concerned look. I swallowed hard, my face burning. I'm in heat, I whispered. Her eyes widened, and before she could say anything, the professor shouted. Be quiet! I wanted to snap back, to tell them to shut up and mind their business, but I bit my tongue. Because the truth was, they weren't wrong. I could feel the flush on my face, the raw heat rolling off my skin in waves, and everyone around me could smell it too. Hey, Trent! Donna and Arcadia, two of the pack's resident mean girls, called out, not even bothering to whisper. The Harvest Moon Festival is tonight. Better not show up smelling like that. I sank deeper into my chair, my face burning. The Harvest Moon Festival. Right, tonight. That time of year again. The time when everyone gathered in the park under the moonlight, when couples formed and lifelong bonds were sealed. The night when a wolf found their mate, or if they were lucky, their true mate. But me, I can't even shapeshift. Who the hell would want to be my mate? I felt a nauseating wave rise in my stomach. My skin was too tight, my breath too shallow. I was going to be sick. I pushed back my chair and bolted from the classroom. I knew it was an exam, and I knew no one left an exam, not unless they were bleeding or dying. But I didn't care. I hated this. I hated being me. I stumbled outside through the hallways, past the perfectly polished lockers and the lingering stairs. I found an empty bench beneath a pine tree and collapsed onto it. The cool air did little to soothe me. Then I heard my friends. There you are. I've been looking for you. I sighed. It's already hard enough not belonging with the rest of the pack, but being in heat during the Harvest Moon Festival? Everyone's going to know. My other friend tried to make me laugh like he always did. Come on, it's hot. All the guys are going to be totally into it. I shook my head. It's not just that, Trent. Everyone knows I'm the only one who can't shapeshift. You have that beautiful silver tendril in your hair that shows everyone you have a wolf inside you. I have nothing, just me. Just human. She looked away, awkward. I continued, my voice falling. And on top of that, you and him get to celebrate your love at the festival. And I'll be going as a single loser who couldn't get a mate if her life depended on it. I'm sorry, Trin, she said softly. Whatever, I mumbled. I turned away before he could say more. I'll just see you guys later. I wandered through the roads to the home. Trinity, is that you? My Aunt Eve asked. I turned slowly. Hey, I muttered. She smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. Thinking about the Harvest Moon Festival, I really don't want to go. As I was about to complete my sentence, I saw my grandfather. Of course he'd find me. What are you doing here? He crossed his arms, his mouth pulled into a tight line. I was concerned that you would embarrass the family at tomorrow's festival. There it was. I'm here to see to it that that doesn't happen. Well, it's a shame you came then, because I'm not going. His eyes narrowed, his voice low and angry. Trinity White, prophetic child. The Harvest Moon Festival is not optional. You need to find a wolf mate. It's your destiny. Grandfather, please, I'll be the only one there who can't shapeshift. It's humiliating. You're going, he snapped. My hands balled into fists. Fine. He turned on his heel. The Alpha will be watching. I muttered, I hate him. Aunt Eve tried to defend him later. He just wants the best for you. I stared at her, hurt. You didn't even try to defend me. She blinked. Trin, just leave me alone. I said and went upstairs. I sat alone that night, curled up in the attic of the house. The floorboards were cold beneath me. My thoughts spiraled. I never knew my father. Rumor had it he was human. That would make me only half wolf. When he left, it broke my mum. She couldn't handle it. She died not long after. My grandfather blamed me for her death and for our family's fall from grace. We used to be a respected line of beta wolves, right hand to the Alpha. Now, I was the orphan girl no one wanted. Uncle Wesley and Aunt Eve took me in, and Carter and Noah tried to treat me like family. But it wasn't the same. It never would be. I went for a run the next morning. Then, out of nowhere, something hit my nose. A smell, not mine, not familiar, something dangerous, electric. It prickled at my skin. I had to get out of there. Later that night, the festival was in full swing. Where's Trinity? My friends were asking. I stepped into the clearing, my dress clinging uncomfortably to my skin. My heat was pulsing through me like a second heartbeat. You look like Goddess. Trinity. You look hot, someone whispered behind me. I rolled my eyes. I knew they didn't mean attractive. They meant the other kind of hot. The kind that made people notice. The kind that made people uncomfortable. Everything at the festival was brighter, louder, more alive. Laughter echoed, music swelled, bodies moved in rhythm beneath the moonlight. And me? I wished I felt like I belonged. Belonged to someone, to him. Then the whispers rose again. It's the Alpha. He was here. And he was looking for heat, looking for a mate. But there was no chance it would be me. Then his eyes found mine. See something you like? His friends asked. Alpha he blinked. Not really. Of course. Figures. While this was going on at the other end, someone nudged me. All I'm saying is, you deserve to have a good time tonight. So if you feel it with someone, just go for it. Yeah, I said, forcing a smile. I'll remember that as I stand by the punch bowl all night. They laughed and disappeared into the crowd. I turned toward the drink table, heart sinking. On the other side, Alpha was getting bored. Another party. Another excuse for the unmated girls of the pack to throw themselves at him. The Alpha thought. He walked past, muttering to someone. I hate when they're just throwing themselves at me. Yeah, rough life, they joked. Come on, you need to find a Luna. Until then, the castle won't position you as Alpha. That's what the elders said, he replied bitterly. Well, screw the elders. Alpha said Alpha didn't even notice me standing a few feet away. I wasn't a part of their world. Then suddenly he stiffened. What is it? His friend asked. He whispered, I smell something. A scent. It's taking over my body, my mind. His eyes scanned the crowd. And then he saw me. I froze. Every instinct in me screamed to run, to hide. I wasn't ready for this. I didn't look like the others. I wasn't confident or sleek or powerful. I didn't have a wolf. Then I heard the girls whispering again. Oh my goddess. I can't believe she came. Even though she's in heat. Gross. I heard her dad was human. And still, I stood there, burning, longing, hoping that maybe this time it would be different. The words weren't new, but they never lost their sting. I didn't need to hear them directly. I saw it in their eyes, in the way their noses wrinkled when I passed. Like I was something rotting, something broken, something not enough. Sometimes I wondered if they were right. I wanted to scream, to run until my lungs gave out, to shed this skin that never quite fit. My wolf was supposed to wake years ago, but nothing ever came. While everyone else shifted under the moon, I remained stuck, half of what I was supposed to be. And now, heat. Of all the things to come first, of course it was that. It hit me like fire, every sense heightened. I could smell everything. The dirt, the sap, even the shame radiating from my own skin. The others noticed too. The way they looked at me, like I'd brought it on myself. I didn't belong here. I never did. I ran, out of the festival grounds, where at least the trees didn't judge, where the moonlight filtered through the branches in soft streaks. But then I smelled something else. Not sweat, not pheromones, not pack. Something wild, sharp, wrong. I froze. My body screamed run, but curiosity pinned me in place. The scent got stronger. My skin crawled. Then I heard it. A growl, low, dangerous, too close. I spun, heart pounding, and then he was there. Not the rogue, him, the Alpha. He stepped out of the trees like he was made of them, tall and powerful, shoulders squared like he could carry the whole pack on his back if he had to. And maybe he had. His eyes locked on mine, glowing red in the darkness. Red. I'd only seen that in the old stories. Red meant something ancient, something fated. I couldn't breathe. Every molecule in me felt like it had been struck by lightning. I couldn't look away. I didn't want to. The rogue vanished, maybe fled from him, maybe was chased off, but I didn't care. I was focused on the way the Alpha's chest rose and fell like he was trying not to lose control. The air between us shimmered, like the bond I wasn't supposed to have was trying to form anyway. Then, quietly, he said it. You're sent. That was all. My stomach flipped. He didn't touch me. He didn't smile. He just looked at me like I was a question he didn't want the answer to. And then something in his eyes hardened. This was a mistake. I turned and walked away. He stood there, hollowed out by the silence he left behind. I reached home, but thoughts were pestering me. What just happened? Had he felt it too? No. That was impossible. He was the alpha. I was no one. The girl with the wrong blood, the broken lineage, the stain on her family name. I had nothing to offer him. Still, I couldn't stop thinking about the way he looked at me, like I mattered. And that terrified me more than anything else. Because what if he changed his mind? What if he told the others? What if he said I was the reason a rogue entered the territory? What if he saw me as a threat? The pack barely tolerated me as it was. It wouldn't take much for them to push me out entirely. Banish me. Strip me of what little place I had. But what if he didn't? What if this meant something? I didn't know what scared me more, that he would come back or that he wouldn't. I turned slowly, heading back toward my bed. From something deeper. I wasn't the same girl who ran into the woods. Something had shifted. And for the first time in my life, I wondered if maybe, just maybe, I wasn't broken. Maybe I was becoming something else. My heart hammers against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat echoing the chaos in my head. The forest air is thick with the scent of pine and danger, and I'm running, always running. I'm not supposed to be here, tangled in a nightmare where wolves hunt me, and the goddess herself seems to have a twisted sense of humor. I'm the wolfless girl, the oddity in a pack of shifters, and yet, somehow, I've caught the eye of an alpha, Rhys. His name alone sends a shiver down my spine, half terror, half something I don't dare name. It started with a scream. Mine, raw and desperate, as a massive wolf pinned me from behind in these very woods. I'd fumbled for the mace in my pocket, my only defense against the rogue wolf terrorizing women in our territory. "Watch out! I have mace!" I'd yelled, voice cracking. But he was too strong, his grip like iron. I thrashed, my boots slipping on the damp earth, until he spun me around. Suddenly, we were nose to nose, close enough that I could feel his breath, see the glint of his fangs. My pulse roared, and for one insane moment I wanted to pounce on him, to kiss him, until the world burned away. What the hell was wrong with me? He grinned, all sharp teeth and smug confidence. Funny, I've never met a wolfess who carries mace, but I guess it makes sense if you don't have a wolf. I froze. How did he know? My secret, the shame I've carried since I was old enough to understand I was different, laid bare in a single sentence. "How do you know that?" I whispered, my voice barely holding. "I'm an alpha," he said, releasing me. "I have a whole group of annoying elders feeding me every piece of information I can get." My heart sank. "You're the alpha?" I wanted to melt into the ground, to evaporate and never face the humiliation of mistaking Rhys, the elk blood alpha, for the rogue wolf. He laughed, a deep rumbling sound that made my cheeks burn. "Who do you think I was? The rogue wolf? Do you think he rides around with a fleet of luxury cars?" I glanced over my shoulder, spotting 3 sleek black SUVs parked beyond the gate. My face flamed hotter. "So, why are you here?" He didn't answer right away, his eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my skin prickle. I didn't know it then, but that moment was the spark that set my world ablaze. Back at Aunt Eve's house, the air was thick with tension and the faint whistle of a teapot. 7 Elkblood elders filed into the living room, their faces stern, their presence heavy. I sat in my usual corner chair, bracing for whatever storm was brewing. Grandfather shook their hands, all diplomacy and forced calm, but I could see the sweat beading on his brow. He was nervous, something I hadn't seen since I was a kid. Aunt Eve poured blood tea, her hands steady despite the room's undercurrent of unease. An elder with slicked-back white hair and a cane carved with ancient pack symbols stood, thumping it against the floor. Thunk. The sound made my stomach twist. Noah, Rhys's beta, shifted nervously, clutching his tablet like a lifeline. Okay, hi, I'm Noah, beta to the preeminent Elkblood Alpha. We'd like to thank Elder Witten for having us on short notice." Grandfather nodded, but his eyes flicked to me, sharp and expectant. I met Rhys's gaze across the room. "His name is Rhys? Why didn't he lead with that instead of scaring me half to death?" "Twice." Noah's voice trembled as he continued. "Elder Witten, we don't mean to disrespect the Dear Blood Pack elders by coming directly to you. We just thought this issue would be best approached privately first." Grandfather's face darkened. "If this is about my granddaughter leaving early last night, I've already condemned it. She's hard to control." "I'm right here, Grandfather," I snapped, my voice sharper than I intended. Noah waved his hands. No, please, it's our fault. Rhys wants to make it clear he's sorry for the misunderstanding. Grandfather lurched forward. What misunderstanding? Was there some kind of misconduct? I tilted my head, irritation flaring. If Rhys has something to say, he can say it to my face. I'm right here. Rhys smiled, a slow, dangerous curve of his lips that made my heart stutter. I'd be happy to speak to you, Trinity. May I? I just said you could, I shot back, my voice steadier than I felt. Why was this alpha wasting his time on a wolfless nobody like me? It was humiliating, and yet something in his gaze made my blood sing. I'm sorry for what happened in the woods, Rhys said, his voice low and sincere. It was bizarre. I was wondering if we can get a fresh start. I raised an eyebrow. Fresh start? What for? Grandfather nearly leapt from his seat. Don't ask why, Trinity. The Alpha's making you an offer. Rhys waved him off. Trinity has a right to be upset. We heard there were rogue wolves around. I felt a sense of danger, so I went to the woods behind our property. I found Trinity there, but instead of helping, all I did was scare her. Is that about right? I nodded, my throat tight. That's exactly what happened. I know it must have been disturbing, he continued. On behalf of myself and the entire pack, I want to apologize. All eyes turned to me. Grandfather looked ready to throttle me into agreeing. I shrugged, trying to play it cool despite the storm in my chest. I accept your apology. Now can we just move on? Rhys's grin widened, and my heart did a traitorous flip. That's the thing, Trinity. I can't just move on. It seems you made quite an impression. The room went still, the air heavy with anticipation. Grandfather leaned forward, his voice sharp. What's the meaning of this? Has he imprinted? I smacked my knees, mortified. Grandfather! Obviously, that's not why they're here. Stop embarrassing me. I buried my face in my hands, wishing the floor would swallow me whole. Rhys leaned forward, his smile softening. Actually, it is. My heart stopped. Thud, thud, thud. I met his gaze and the world tilted. You've imprinted on me, Trinity, he said, his voice like velvet. I was confused as to how you could have run away, but then we figured it out. It's because you don't have a wolf. Otherwise, I think things would have been clear to both of us. I stared into his eyes, searching for a lie, but all I found was the warm, undeniable pull of something divine. The goddess's breath, they called it. I'd heard the stories since I was a girl, but this was real, overwhelming, impossible. Grandfather clasped his hands, practically vibrating with joy. Goddess help me, this is the best news I've ever gotten. Trinity, say yes. Rhys's eyes never left mine. I want to give you a chance to tell me if you feel it too, or if the goddess is playing a horrible trick on me. So, Trinity, what do you say? Will you give me another shot? I glanced around, my mind a whirlwind. Those feelings in the woods, wild, electric, like nothing I'd ever known. Were they fate? How could I be sure? I want to say yes, I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. But honestly, I don't know. What? Grandfather roared. Trinity Whitten, you will say yes this very instant. The elders shifted nervously, their murmurs filling the room. Rhys raised a hand, calm as ever. Let's slow down. This is a strange situation and calls for strange solutions. We want to invite Trinity to stay at my estate today to help her decide. Aunt Eve gasped, her hand covering her smile. My head spun. Why couldn't I resist him? Why did I want to go? Grandfather was apoplectic. She doesn't need to choose. You're fated. It's a done deal. This is my decision, I shouted, my voice cracking. You're just going to give me away like a doll? His face turned purple. Be grateful. This is a gift from the goddess, an alpha choosing someone like you. I don't want a mate if I'm their prisoner, I snapped. All my life you've wanted to get rid of me. Now you're saying it to my face. I wish I could die. Then you'd be happy. The room fell silent, save for the thunk of the elder's cane. Noah cleared his throat. If we don't do the claiming ceremony before the end of the harvest moon, we'll have to wait 3 years. We'll have Trinity move into the Alpha's mansion at our expense. If things go well, the ceremony can take place tomorrow night. Tomorrow night? I felt sick. Do I really have any choice in this? This is insane. Grandfather waved his hands. Trinity will stand up there and let the Alpha mark her like every other wolfess in history. She won't make any trouble. Will you, Trinity? My eyelids flutter, heavy as lead. Voices unfamiliar, sharp, cut through the fog in my head. This is ridiculous, a woman hisses. An alpha can choose a mate as his lover, not his Luna. Only a fated mate can be a Luna. My breath catches. Where am I? My last memory is the woods. Reese's eyes burning into mine. Now my hands and feet are bound to a chair, a gag biting into my mouth. The basement is dark, the air stale. My heart races. What did they do to me? The voices argue, silhouetted by the faint light from the basement door. No wolf can withstand that potion, a man snaps. She'll be out cold for the day. You said this was foolproof? The woman retorts. If it was, we wouldn't be alone here with the chosen Luna. I close my eyes, pretending to be unconscious. They think I'm asleep. They think I'm a full wolf. But I'm not. I'm half human, and whatever potion they gave me isn't working right. My mind is foggy, but I'm awake. I hear their footsteps creak up the stairs, the door shutting behind them. I have to move. Now. The ties cut into my wrists as I struggle, the chair creaking under my weight. If I had a wolf, I'd snap these in seconds, but I don't. I'm just me. Trinity, the wolfless girl who's somehow imprinted on an alpha. I yank harder, the plastic biting my skin, and then it hits me. The chair. It's wood, not metal. Wood. Hope surges. I slam my legs against the crossbeam. Crack. The sound is like a gunshot in the silence. I hit it again, ignoring the pain shooting through me. Come on, come on. One more slam and the beam snaps, tumbling across the floor. I'm close. So close. I kick until the chair's legs break, then leap, landing hard on the seat. Smash. Pain explodes through me, but I'm free, mostly. The ties still bind my wrists and ankles. I drag myself across the floor, finding a jagged piece of wood. I saw at the plastic, my hands shaking until it snaps. I'm free. I stumble to the door, my heart in my throat. It's unlocked. Idiots. I burst through, finding myself in an abandoned house. The field outside stretches toward the woods and I run, my lungs burning. Don't look back. Boom. A shotgun blast tears through the air. She's getting away, the woman screams. I sprint faster, my legs screaming, the woods so close. The kidnappers are behind me, their wolf roars shaking the earth. I'm not going to make it, not without a wolf. I crash through the brush, branches clawing at my skin. The woods offer no cover, no safety. I hear them closing in, their snarls growing louder. I'm not giving up without a fight. I push forward, my breath ragged, when a shadow looms above me. A massive wolf, claws gleaming, teeth bared, hurtling straight for my face. I scream, the sound ripping from my throat as the world goes dark. Hi, I'm Trinity, and if you're wondering what happens next, download the Pocket FM app now and listen to the exciting episodes of The Fated to Rebel.